What was it that Terry Collins said today? We love the excitement of the series with the Yankees. We just like to get it all out of the way. So the Mets and Yankees are getting it out of the way today. Yankees will be heading off to other climes after this one's over. Last appearance in Flushing for the Yankee captain tonight. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the New York Yankees. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets wrap up their series with the Yankees. The Mets have taken 2 of the first 3, but last night, Masahiro Tanaka was dominant for the Yankees, and that got us to thinking about one of the verities in baseball, which is that good pitching is going to defeat hitting most of the time. We saw it with Tanaka last night, and we see how the Mets are trying to build their franchise through young pitching.
Yeah, Tanaka was outstanding. He made it look easy, and the Mets are hoping that some of their young pitchers at some point develop to the point where they make it look easy. Montero last night, only 3 runs in 6 innings pitched. Wheeler, though, has some work to do coming off a tough start. Familia's a guy that could be a closer someday, but he is the closer. Tonight, DeGrom with the start, and Harvey is going to throw off a mound on June 10th. But with all these young pitching, what the Mets are telling you, we've got the arms, we've got the guys. They're going to someday, maybe at 25, 26 years old, do what Tanaka did last night.
So the question is, if you're going to build your franchise through young pitching, how do you best build a team around it to have a championship franchise?
Well, you've also got to factor in the ballpark you're going to play in 81 games out of the year, and that would be Citi Field, which is quite large. So if you're going to build your team around pitching, you better build around defense, and Terry's been very adamant about that. I had the big experiment last year in the outfield. Now they've got speed in the outfield with Lagares, who plays center field like nobody I've seen in a very long time. Eric Young brings speed, so does Granderson and Chris Young. Also d'Arnaud behind the plate. You got to be strong up the middle. He's quite capable behind there, calls a good game, throws well, and let's throw Tejada into the mix now. He's been playing the shortstop this ball club as expected him to play.
Travis d'Arnaud goes on the concussion disabled list today, so he's going to be out at least for a week. Juan Santana was here, and he's going to catch Jacob deGrom tonight in his major league debut after catching him in Vegas.
You know, I was so excited for Montero last night. I feel exactly the same way for Jacob deGrom. When he first came, we thought maybe he was going to be in the bullpen, but no. 4-0 in AAA. You look at his minor league numbers, you're going to see a guy throws a lot of balls on the bottom of the strike zone.
Lots of nice lowercase letters on the back of that uniform, too. And a very unusual circumstance in that the Yankees will also have a starter making his big league debut.
Well, he's really been a guy that's really a can-miss kid. Not a can't-miss kid, but he also has done a lot of good work as a starter in AAA. 3 different stints. He's 4-1. That's Gritton Wilkes-Barre.
So the butterflies are expanding by the moment. Jacob deGrom, Chase Whitley getting ready to start their big league careers. Last game of the year between the Mets and the Yankees coming up. stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. By New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. Visit them on the web at mynycb.com. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the day is John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John's office at johngarfinkel.com. By Geico. And by Hyundai, leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting buyhyundai.com today. Get to Citi Field Friday, May 23rd for Free Shirt Friday, when the Mets take on the Diamondbacks at 7:10. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets t-shirt courtesy of Geico. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Fridays. Time for today's AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight during the game. Mets and Yankees for the final time. Mets trying to clinch the season series with a win tonight. First pitch coming right up. Of slugging and defensive heroics for the Mets in the Bronx. One night of nothing doing against Masahiro Tanaka. And now the final act of this year's Subway Series features two first-time starters. 25-year-old Jacob deGrom makes his way to the Shea Stadium mound for the Mets. Citi Field. Did I say Shea? That's a fine.
Wow. No, not anymore.
That's the first one.
No,
Wild.
He's buying dinner in DC.
It's like 4 times the fine from a few years ago.
That's right. No excuses.
Ebbets Grill. Hyundai starting lineup for the Yankees. Same unit that's been out there this entire series. Yankees got 4 runs last night. A couple of home runs. Yangervis Solarte, the American League's leading hitter. And there is the rookie right-hander Jacob deGrom. 4-0 at Vegas, getting ready for his first big league start.
Well, if he's going well, he'll keep the ball down in the strike zone. He's a strike thrower. There'll be a lot of ground balls. He's the fourth from the class of 2010 to make it to the big leagues. The draft of 2010, Harvey, Dendecker, and Edgin.
And we'll take a look at your Metsy defense, brought to you by Lexus. Young, both Youngs and Granderson in the outfield again. Lagares on the bench. Tejada, he's been playing great at shortstop. David Wright, of course, a Gold Glover. And Juan Centeno now with d'Arnaud with a little bit of a concussion. He called up Centeno. He's going to start.
That's made another move today. They recalled Josh Edgin, who Ronnie just mentioned, out of the 2010 draft. Edgin is in the bullpen, ready to go tonight. Kyle Farnsworth released and not very happy about it. There's Centeno, who last year made history, becoming the first big league catcher to throw out Billy Hamilton in his brief tenure with the Mets. Brett Gardner leads off. DeGrom's first pitch in the major leagues is a fastball at 95 for a strike.
Whoa.
Kevin was mentioning during the pregame show that DeGrom's velocity has been up this year. He was a 92 to 94 guy coming into this season. There have been more 95s and 96s this year.
He's just learning how to pitch. I shouldn't say just learning how to pitch. He was a shortstop in college, then became a pitcher. So, you know, he's learning every year, getting better every year.
Grew up in Florida, went to Stetson University in his hometown of DeLand, Florida. Gets ahead on Gardner, a ball and 2 strikes. Gardner having a good series, 6 for 15, including a grand slam on Monday night.
You know, when you're pitching here in the first inning, you're throwing just the hardest you'll ever throw in your career. Is this inning right here.
Hard to match the adrenaline, right?
I mean, you might throw harder someday on a gun, but I'm just talking about in your mind with the adrenaline, with people in the stands, with a big league hitter up wearing a Yankee uniform. You feel as though the ball's coming out of a shotgun.
One, 2 to Gardner. And sails high for DeGrom. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jacob DeGrom made a meteoric rise through the Mets farm system because he had Tommy John surgery in 2010 right after he signed. Missed all of 2011. And last year he moved through, in 2 years, moved through 4 different levels from 2012 to 2013. This is with the changeup 3 and 2. So he has, even though he's 25 and making his big league debut, he's really come a long way in a short period of time. Derek Jeter on deck, then Jacoby Ellsbury. 3 and 2 to the leadoff hitter Gardner. He fouls away the fastball.
Well, his motion, he is long and lean, 6'4", 180 pounds, real closed as that body moves forward. He doesn't really sit back. Stiff front leg, does mostly with his upper body.
8th pitch of the opening at bat, and Gardner fouls off another one.
It's a little bit of what happened last night to Rafael Montero. Yankee hitters did a good job of taking a lot of pitches and a good job of fouling off a lot of pitches to drive up that pitch count.
Montero threw 108 pitches in 6 innings, an impressive debut despite the loss. Again, the 3-2, and Gardner socks it out to right, chasing Granderson back, and Curtis gets there for the first out. Nice running catch by Granderson, 1 away.
Well, he came inside, but he wanted to come up and in, got down and in, and it was the right call because Gardner was fouling off all those pitches away, Ronnie. But this is a big ballpark. There you go.
I thought it was interesting that Gardner ran by David Wright on the way back in after socking that ball to right field. I bet you David was tempted to say, "I told you."
Well, I hope he doesn't do that.
No, I'm
got to get over it.
I'm kidding. I'm playing.
Nice hand for Derek Jeter, starting his final game here in Flushing, and he hits a ground ball right at his counterpart. Tejada throws him out, and Jeter retired, 2 away. That's presented Derek with a very nice piece of artwork tonight. His number 2, fashioned out of tiles from that you use on the wall of a subway station. Yeah. Also got a nice cake and cupcakes with his number on it, and a donation to his foundation.
Deserving. What a wonderful career. I mean, shoot. He's been just a great ambassador for the game, too. He's just a wonderful guy. I can tell you he's a solid individual.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury, 0 for 10 in this series. Thinks about a bunt and takes a strike. Well, there is the piece of subway tiled artwork presented by Jeff Wilpon to Derek Jeter. Did you get one of the cupcakes?
I did.
I wolfed it.
That was outstanding. It was really good.
I'm forced to tomorrow morning. We're going to get in late tonight, probably to D.C. I'm going to have to get up early and go to the gym.
Work off the cupcake?
Oh, you darn right. The stuff, the plaque with number 2 on it, it's full of sugar.
You need a wake-up call for that gym visit?
I'll call you at 5 tomorrow.
0-2 from DeGrom. Right at the feet of Ellsbury, 1-2. Mark Teixeira would be next. Teixeira homered last night. One-two, up and away with a fastball. 2-2. Here's last night's hero for the Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka. What a load on his shoulders right now with the Yankee rotation in the state it's in. 3-2 now to Ellsbury.
Attempted to spell his first name Masahiro, because that's what he was for the Yankees and Joe Girardi last night. A depleted bullpen, a shaky bullpen so far in this series. And he said, I got it, boys. You guys take care of tomorrow.
I think they could go to a one-man rotation. 3-2, and Ellsbury hits it out to right center. Long run for Granderson to the gap. He won't get this one. It hops against the wall. And Ellsbury pulls into second base with a 2-out double. First hit of the series for Ellsbury.
Down fastball, outer half. And those left-hand hitters make a living down there below the belt. Beautiful swing right there by Ellsbury. Full extension, too much plate.
So after DeGrom retired his first 2 big league hitters, he gives up a 2-out double to Ellsbury, and now he faces Teixeira. 3 for 10 in this series, including a home run last night. DeGrom comes up and in.
Most young pitchers suffer from the same thing in their first start. Everything usually is the same speed. It's hard for them to be able to throw that change-up or breaking ball because they're so amped up.
DeGrom 21-11 in his minor league career in 58 starts.
Ooh, good one.
That was a good slide piece there. Fastball, and slider. Hard at the plate, but that's fine when you are facing a hitter for the first time. Fastball up is the pitch right now. See if Centeno calls it. It's got to help that Centeno caught DeGrom in the minor leagues, certainly.
Yeah, it's a good plan, I think, to have him back there tonight. Again, Centeno called up when Travis d'Arnaud was placed on the 7-day concussion disabled list. 2-2 to Teixeira. Got him with a high fastball. First big league strikeout for Jacob DeGrom. He gets Teixeira to get through his opening inning unscathed. Now the Yankee first-time starter Chase Whitley takes the mound as we go to the bottom of the first. No score. conspicuous by his absence for the third time in 4 games in this series is Juan Lagares. That's a real puzzlement right now. But the Mets have won 6 of the last 7 against the Yankees, and they will try and beat a first-time starter tonight in 24-year-old Chase Whitley.
He's gone back and forth. A native of Alabama. They drafted him in 2010 in the 15th round out of Troy University. His plus pitch is his changeup.
Eric Young will lead things off. Young has been spectacular in first innings for the Mets this year. A .448 on-base percentage in the first inning. It's helped the Mets to 33 first-inning runs, tied for the most in the National League. Corners pitch in against Eric, and Whitley's first pitch in the big leagues is a strike.
And we noticed right off the bat that Young has made some adjustments in his stance at the plate from both sides. And for all you fans that did not view or don't have the key eye of Ronnie and Gary, take a look. He's standing more upright.
Don't get me involved in that.
Grounded down to Teixeira. He'll handle it easily for the first out.
And we'll take a look at the Yankee defense, and this is always brought to you. The visiting team is always brought to you by Coors Light. And Jacoby Ellsbury really filled out that spot in center field for the Yankees. That big center field at Yankee Stadium. Derek Jeter, of course, 5-time Gold Glover. Teixeira's won a Gold Glove. McCann, of course, the former Brave behind the plate.
And about covers it.
Almost. I tried to get them all in, but I've been put on notice. I'm not supposed to do that.
Last names only. We get them all. Here's Daniel Murphy with 1 out. Murphy is 4 for 12 in the series against the Yankees.
I was telling the guys before, because he's alternated between reliever and starter, Whitley's starting the game here in the stretch.
Fastball from Whitley for a strike. I once saw Hideo Nomo throw a no-hitter from the stretch.
That's right.
At Coors Field.
And Colorado.
Rainy night.
Greatest game ever pitched when you think about it. I mean, if it's in Colorado.
It was the first no-hitter in that ballpark. 2-1 to Murphy. Whitley, 151 games in the minor leagues, only 14 starts. They kind of transitioned him to the starting rotation this year. 6 starts in AAA. Was doing well, 2.39 ERA. Got the call up when CC Sabathia went on the disabled list with a knee injury. Murphy grounds one down to first. Another easy play for Teixeira. So 2 outs for Whitley. Now, last night Murphy got to face Masahiro Tanaka for the first time, along with all the other Mets, and Murph was certainly impressed.
I knew what was coming. I couldn't hit it. He's just, he commanding all his pitches to all zones. The splitter is the equalizer. We don't see it that much. Somebody use it in any count like that. Usually you get guys at the back end of a bullpen, like a J.J. Putz, who's using it as a put-away pitch. But, he threw me 1-1 today. I took the 0-1. Couldn't take the 1-1. It's a good pitch. I didn't really see it very well. As a team, we wanted to get him up. It's easier said than done.
Well, it's very flattering, Murph. He hit the ball hard twice last night, if I recollect.
First 2 times up,
including a knock.
Well, Tanaka's gotten off to a historically strong start for the Yankees, and the Mets just his latest victim, his first major league complete game and shutout. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses as the year goes along. I mean, this is a guy who's now won 34 straight decisions.
Well, he's going to lose the game at some point, obviously, but you just saw from last night that he is, well, I guess I shouldn't say obviously, maybe he won't, but
didn't lose last year.
He's prime choice, polished product.
What was the 1 year? What was it Lefty Grove when he won 30, or was it Dizzy Dean was like 31?
31 and 4.
4. Can you imagine?
Oh, think about Doc's year.
Yeah.
Think about Guidry's year. 2-2 to right.
Yeah.
Guidry 25 and 3.
Yep.
Doc 24 and 4. Next to us in the booth, David Cohn 20 and 3. It was quite a year in '88.
And you had Gibson in '68 with a 1.12, and he lost 8 games.
How did that happen?
Because everybody else was throwing shutouts too.
That's right.
He had 13 shutouts that year. 2-2 to right. David grounds one weakly and will go foul. Wright had an 11-game hitting streak come to an end last night against Tanaka. Terry Collins watched his team pound out 21 runs in 2 games to open this series in the Bronx, looking for their first tally against the Yankees at home. Curtis Granderson would be next. 2-2 to right with 2 out. And Whitley gets him swinging his first major league strikeout. So DeGrom fans Teixeira, Whitley fans Wright. They each have a strikeout under their belt. No score after 1. Cueto may be the best pitcher in baseball right now. Complete game 3 hitter against the Padres. Won 5-0 today. 1.25 ERA. That's pretty good. Aaron Hicks for the Twins. RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. Minnesota beats Boston 4-3. And Chris Davis, a 2-run RBI single in the bottom of the 9th. The Brewers beat the Pirates 4-3. Pirates will be in New York tomorrow night to play the Yankees up in the Bronx. That means Ike Davis comes back to New York.
There you go. Johnny Cueto now 9 straight starts of at least 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs or less.
Hadn't been done in 100 years. Whew. How about that? Brian McCann 4 for 13 in this series, including a home run. And DeGrom salesman outside. McCann, Soriano, and Solarte for the Yankees. That's put on the full shift as always against McCann.
McCann tried to bunt against the shift in Yankee Stadium, but he didn't lay down a good enough bunt, and Bartolo Colon threw him out.
Chases a changeup, 1-2.
Nice movement away from the left-hander.
Well, it really turns that over, doesn't he?
Yeah, didn't he just fooled him with the off speed? That was never a strike.
Poked over shortstop, and it's into left center for a base hit. So McCann taking one the other way. On a 1-2 breaking ball, and has got himself a leadoff hit.
Well, maybe McCann just got wise here. He's hit the ball hard this series. Hasn't got much to show for it. And there he is chasing another changeup way off the plate, and just kind of places it out there perfectly.
Doesn't matter what defense you had there. That was a base hit.
So leadoff base runner for the Yankees in the second. Here's Alfonso Soriano. 3 for 13 in the series. And DeGrom's fastball fouled off.
Soriano can, big orange. Put that level swing. Seaver ready to drop and drive.
Cleon Jones admiring one. Cleon hit 340, in 1969.
340 even?
Yeah.
That's not easy.
This is going to be an interesting matchup all night for DeGrom. He's a low ball pitcher, likes to throw the ball down in the strike zone. Soriano is a down hitter.
DeGrom gave up only 2 home runs in his 9 starts for Las Vegas this year, and in that league where the ball really carries a lot of altitude, if you can give up 2 home runs in 9 starts, you know that you're keeping the ball down.
A little bit like Montero last night. Has not shown he can get any kind of breaking ball. Well, I shouldn't say that. He got the one breaking ball over to Teixeira, but the consistency of back-to-back breaking balls.
Got it in on the hands of Soriano. 2-2.
That's where you got to pitch him. He's always stood Soriano on top of the plate. Look how close, and he strides in. So go in there and get him. Now I'm sure when you stand that close, you've got to look in once in a while to keep the pitcher honest. But you know, Jim Cott had an interesting comment about Frank Robinson, and Frank stood on top of the plate. Now Jim was not an overpowering pitcher, a sinker slider pitcher, and Jim said when he first saw Frank, when he came over to the American League, he said, "I'm going to pitch him in. He's on top of the plate." He said he was just raking me down the line, and I started pitching him sinkers away, and I had better success.
Third full count for DeGrom to the first 6 hitters. McCann at first and nobody out. Not running. And Soriano down on strikes. You see DeGrom throwing 92, 92, 93. Goes to 95 to strike out Soriano.
Good location, Ronnie.
This ball beat him, but it's right there. I mean, if you could can that and have that pitch whenever you needed it, well, the great ones do.
Little tardy.
Let me ask you a question, Keith. Soriano with the big leg kick. Do you think hitters need to reduce their leg kick as they get older, or does the timing stay the same?
I think the timing stays the same. It's all about your hands, your reflexes, Gary. That's your loading mechanism, your rhythmic. That's how you hit. Darryl had Strawberry had the big leg kick. Melot, you can say. When you get older, you lose your quickness and your reflexes, and that's where you get beat.
Here is Solarte, who leads the American League in batting, and DeGrom fools him with a changeup.
Well, that's a good pitch, because this Solarte is a dead red hitting fool. Just loves the fastball.
6 for 11 in this series with 2 home runs. Another changeup. DeGrom gets the comebacker. Tejada with the turn. 1-6-3 double play. Neat as they come. Nicely started by DeGrom. That gets him through the top of the 2nd. No score at Citi Field. peppers. Yep, good to go.
Oh, man.
Throw a little mustard on there. You have a delight.
Yeah.
There's your Mets' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Heineken. Mets will be in D.C. for a quick trip the next 3 days. Then be right back home for a long homestand that features the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Pirates.
Nice.
Ike gets 2 trips to New York. One this weekend and then one when he comes back to City.
That doesn't make any sense, but
you know what the Yankees are doing next week after they play I think it's next week. They get a trip where they go to Chicago for a solid week. They play the Cubs and the White Sox.
Who does that?
The Yankees.
Wow. Nice.
Gibson's, here we come.
Bed check.
Somebody's going to have a problem by the end of the week. It's Curtis Granderson leading off in the home second.
Well, folks, there's always an old baseball tale. A lot of tongues dragging in Wrigley Field over the years.
They say the most dangerous thing in baseball is a day game after a day game in Chicago. 1-1 to Granderson, who's 4 for 11 with 2 home runs in the series.
Now, someone as dedicated as myself, I never stayed out till 4 in the morning on a day game.
That leaves you a lot of leeway. 4 in the morning, by the way.
350.
Yeah, exactly.
348. 15. Granderson gets tied up by Whitley. 2-1. Chris Young on deck, then Lucas Duda for the Mets in the home second. They played this same shift against Curtis the entire series. 3 infielders on the right and Jeter playing third base.
It's almost like they're taking away that check swing that he has that goes down the third base line. But we know he's had a couple hits like that. Maybe that's the reason for the defense.
It's one into the shift. That's Solarte playing on the right side, throwing out Granderson all the way. So that is a 5-3 putout in your scorecard.
Both pitchers looked very good so far. Throwing strikes, working quickly. Bravo. I was watching Whitley before last inning. He went to, as most pitchers or players in baseball do, went to spit, and there was none forthcoming. No saliva in that first for Mr. Whitley.
Need a little slippery elm. You know what they used in the old days?
Right.
Make spit. Chris Young just 3 for 12 in this series. And continues to get the call over Juan Lagares in center field. Lagares has had a little bit of a skid the last week, but it's still hard to fathom how he sits 3 games out of 4. And the defense is unquestioned, and in many respects has been, if not the best, one of the Mets' best offensive players this year. And that's no knock on Chris Young, who brings a lot to the table, and it's a difficult formula for Terry Collins every day to figure out who to play, but it's hard to figure why you wouldn't play Lagares every day.
I'm at a loss, to be honest with you. I'm not at a loss. I have an idea.
Toward the middle of the diamond, and ranging over is Roberts to throw now. So the shift paying off on back-to-back plays for the Yankees. 2 out.
Because of the quick start by Eric Young, simple ground ball into the shift. Chris Young should be the 4th outfielder. He should be spelling Eric Young after Eric has had 4 or 5 games in a row, or Lagares occasionally 4 or 5 games in a row. And for Curtis Granderson in right field, when he's facing a Kershaw, a tough left-hander, Chris Young should get the call. That's how I believe, my opinion, how it should be used. The 4 outfield system.
Big shift again.
Duda hits it well out to left center. Back in the gap goes Gardner onto the warning track to run it down and end the inning. So 6 in a row retired by Chase Whitley to start his big league career. Gardner runs down Duda's fly ball. No score after 2. the all-new Audi A3. We go to the third in a scoreless game, and we take you just outside the Mets bullpen to Kevin Burkhardt, standing by with Mets bullpen coach Ricky Bones. Kevin.
Gary, thanks. So Ricky, Terry Collins was talking today, with Kyle gone now, about trying to mold Mejia into the closer's role, but really the key is if he can go on back-to-back days. How do you get him to that point where he can pitch on back-to-back days?
Well, right now is the most important part, Kevin, is to make sure his routine will be short. Bouncing back will be the key, and what he do after the last outing will be the key to keeping healthy and being able to bounce back and execute. Try not to do too much, and his routine to get ready for the game had to be shorter than what he used to be in the rotation.
How much shorter? Like, give me an example of what he used to do and what he'll be doing now.
Well, the long toss got to be short. So obviously here he cannot do the long toss. Right. So instead of go ready on 45 pitches, you're going to get ready in 20, 25 pitches. So what I tried to do is get him out early and start playing catch and maintain him to the mode of throwing ball and move the balls in and out and getting ready, getting loose.
How much with him is a mental thing? Because when he was here a while ago doing it in 2010, he didn't pitch much. He got hurt that year. Do you think there is a mental hurdle for him to kind of leap over to get to that point?
I think the mental is not too much room to mistakes. I mean, in the bullpen, you got to come, you got to execute right away, and it's not another inning. So you got to do it right away, and sometimes you got to concentrate on 1 or 2 pitches instead of 4 pitches, and getting ahead of the count right away and minimize the damage and no walks will be the key.
We see Whitley get a hit against DeGrom with 1 out for the Yankees. We talked with Ricky Bones. When you're down here watching these guys warm up to get in the game a little bit later, what specifically are you looking for and what are you watching? Well,
I'm trying to get them up early, like in the 4th inning, all the group get out and stretch and focus what the guys doing early and how the ground today are executing the pitches. And we had the plan with Dan and I. We go over the hitters early in the game. Early in the day. So we try to read the notes and go from there.
Very important question. Why does Daisuke warm up sometimes without the hat, but then the hat goes on when he gets serious?
That's part of his routine. He, like I said, in the 4th inning, they all get up, and he's the one who throw the most. So he get up early, play catch with the hat, and then when they get serious, he put the hat on. He got the hat.
Before we let you go, how important is the trust factor when you're out here between yourself and these guys for what you're seeing?
I think it's go daily basis. Everything starts during BP, so I try to talk to those guys, see how they feel, review the notes about hitters, and be honest. Be honest and trust the ability to execute pitches.
Thanks for the insight. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you, Kevin.
Ricky Bones, guys, will be important out here with all these young arms. Let's go back to you.
Thanks, Kevin, and thanks to Ricky for doing the interview. Meanwhile, Chase Whitley, in his first professional plate appearance, gets himself a hit.
How about that?
Didn't have a plate appearance in 5 minor league seasons. But he was a terrific hitter in college at Troy University in Alabama. And 10 home runs his junior year.
That's 2 in 2 nights.
That was an outstanding interview from Kevin with Ricky Bones. I thought it was very informative. I learned something out there. I'm not keen on the pitching and the adjustments that Mejia has to make. I thought it was fascinating for what it's worth.
Well, I think the state of the Mets bullpen is very interesting right now anyway, having released Farnsworth, who was at least the closer of the moment, and now you've kind of got a closer of the moment. Like today, Mejia is the closer. Tomorrow it may be somebody else. But you can see that they're moving toward Mejia as the full-time closer somewhere down the road. DeGrom behind in the count, 3-1 on Gardner. And he walks him. And now the Yankees have 2 men on. First walk given up by DeGrom.
The catch-22 of pitching is that you love to face the bottom of the order, but you better get through them clean, because if you don't, then you get ducks on the pond for the better hitter.
Nice round of applause for Derek Jeter. I hope it's some Met fans in there. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, there are. You can see that there are definitely Met fans applauding for Jeter.
And there's no boos. This has been a guy that's had a terrific career and been a credit to the game.
Jeter saw 1 pitch and grounded out to short his first time up. Batting here with 2 on and 1 out. Derek shoots one foul. 3,349 hits, 8th on the all-time hit list.
He won't catch Stan the Man. Stan was the leader for the National League for a long time, and until Pete Rose overtook him. Of course, Pete Rose overtook everybody.
Musial was 36-30.
So, yes,
that was the National League record before Rose broke it. On the outside corner, and DeGrom gets ahead 0-2.
Stan was such a great player, and you can see right here that's a great shot. Derek always been one to stick his fanny out and look very awkward, but a lot of hits.
Whitley, the pitcher, on second. Gardner at first with 1 out. DeGrom ahead 0-2. And Jeter lines it back to DeGrom. It'll be a double play as Gardner is doubled off first. The former college shortstop Jacob DeGrom making his second terrific defensive play early in his first major league start. Turned the 1-6-3 double play, now the 1-3. Helps himself through the third. No score at Citi Field. On the Diamondbacks at 4:10 p.m. The first 20,000 fans will receive a David Wright canvas print courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. DeGrom fielding his position with aplomb.
Makes it much easier to play this game when you're a pitcher and you're an athlete, and DeGrom certainly is.
Got Lord Tennyson over there to our left.
Ruben Tejada leads off in the home third against Chase Whitley, who has retired his first 6 big league hitters. This is a bit of an historic event tonight. There has never been, since 1902, a major league matchup of first-time starters in the month of May. Tejada hits it down the left field side, but that'll go foul. It's happened 3 times in April, including some pretty big names. Back in April of '62, Gaylord Perry made his big league debut against Sammy Ellis of the Reds. In 1939, Dizzy Trout against Jack Kramer, and most recently Rick Porcello and Ricky Romero. But it had never happened in the month of May. And here we are, May 15th. DeGrom and Whitley.
I think you'd probably find hundreds of guys making their first start in April, because it used to be like that. It used to be sent to AAA from spring training. They would tell you, you're coming back on April 26th to make the start.
You're right. Didn't need the 5th starter.
Also, nobody had ever heard of Super 2.
That's right.
That made a difference also. Strike 3. Strike 2 to Tejada. Ruben 2 for 11 in the series, getting his 5th straight start now. After Wilmer Flores appeared to have won the job, perhaps Tejada has won it back. Juan Santana just called up today, waiting on deck. Ruben has certainly played very well in the field. He's hit the ball hard. Fouls that one off McCann.
McCann has that protection on his throat. Is that where it hit him? Right in the bottom of that mask.
I think if I was a catcher, I'd have to wear a mouth guard. You know, just a mouthpiece. Just your teeth can chatter. I would have to do that.
The TMJ thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
One, 2 from Whitley. And he misses away with a fastball. 93. That's as hard as he's thrown.
Yeah, Whitley's throwing pretty decent. Let me tell you, he's around the plate. He has an idea.
In his minor league career, Whitley averaged 2.4 walks and 10.9 strikeouts per 9 innings, which is pretty impressive for a guy who is not considered a hard thrower. Take it toward the hole, and that's a base hit for Tejada. So Ruben has the Mets' first hit of the night, and the first hit given up in the big leagues by Chase Whitley.
Well, that's what Ruben has to do. Hit the ball to all fields. Goes right with it nicely.
Motion's pretty simple. We told you before, he starts in the stretch, pitches from the stretch the entire game. Doesn't use a lot of that back leg. He's a big strapping right-hander.
So now Juan Santano, who had a brief cup of coffee with the Mets last September. Santano hit over 300 in the minors last year. He was hitting 273 this year with Vegas. 24 years old, native of Puerto Rico, considered maybe the best arm of any catcher in the Mets organization. So that last year when he threw out Billy Hamilton in Cincinnati. The changeup by Whitley has him at 0-2.
No, they've got the book on Juan. He likes that fastball evidently. 2 straight cambios. That's changeups in Espanol.
We always talk about the pitchers being a little nervous. How about the hitters in their first at bat when they're brought up? They're ready to hit.
Little tapper down to Teixeira, and he'll take the sure out at first as Tejada moves to second.
I always say get the lead run. I think Teixeira comes up throwing. He can get him. It's a right-hander. It's the difference. You got to make that pivot or the reverse spin, which takes a little bit longer than a left-hander.
I think it's also a little bit of that same. For some reason, other teams think Tejada's faster than he is.
No one's speed is more overrated than Ruben Tejada's in baseball.
Teams look at him and think he's got to be able to run.
Shortstop, he's quick.
No, not really. So now Jacob deGrom, who was an infielder in college, so he has had experience swinging the bat.
A right-handed thrower, left-handed swinger like Zach Wheeler.
Using a hickory bat.
deGrom 176 lifetime in the minors, 6 for 34. Hit a home run last year playing for Las Vegas.
A little open stance.
And he lines one to center field, and the Mets finally have a hit by their pitchers. Jacob deGrom snaps the 0 for 64 streak. His first big league hit in his first at bat, and all the other pitchers can do nothing but smile. Way to go, Jacob.
I don't think he is aware of this. Fastball, outer half, goes right with it.
Well, he's not aware if the Mets over?
Yeah, I bet.
Probably not.
How about two first-time starters each getting a hit in their first big league at bat? First Whitley and now DeGrom.
Get the ball, get the base, stop the clocks, do whatever you have to do. What a job by Jacob. Good swing.
I was almost tempted to drop him. It has happened. It's Young. He takes ball one. So the Mets with a scoring opportunity, first and third and one out.
In at the corners, playing back for two.
Anthony Recker making sure they get the ball from DeGrom's first hit.
Tough guy to double up here. Yankees playing back for two up the middle.
And Harvey takes possession of the souvenir.
Or you find out how someone can pitch with the men on base now, and he falls behind 2-0.
Ronnie, we've already seen DeGrom field his position and get a hit.
It's such a big advantage to be in the National League. I know you're playing interleague here, but be able to handle the bat, be able to field your position, all those little things add up over the course of a long season. It's nice to see occasionally.
Like a regular Ron Darling.
No, don't go. Thank you.
Way up high, 3-0 to EY. Well, I mean, his background profile's a lot like yours, though.
It really does. It's just fastball out of the zone. You know, I was an infielder, never really a pitcher. They had a dearth of pitching where I went. They needed it. I started. The next thing I know, I was in a Mets uniform. Probably that's how Jacob feels right now.
3-0 to Young with Murphy on deck. And Whitley fires a strike. Whitley walked 7 batters in 26 innings in the minors this year, so he's usually right around the plate. But faced with his first crisis after retiring the side in order the first 2 innings. And Eric pops one up. On comes Gardner. And Tejada won't even tag. That's the second out.
Nicely done by Gardner right here. He runs the ball in from the outfield. Those are little things that people don't notice. It's just watch what he does here. He's in close enough. Why throw it in and miss? Anything can happen if you throw it into the cutoff man. Run him in. There you go. No one can advance. That's I haven't seen that in a long time. Well done.
So it's left to Murphy with 2 out. Murphy's been the Mets' second best hitter with runners in scoring position this year. 367 in RBI chances. Only Lucas Duda has done better.
Teixeira holding the pitcher DeGrom at first base. Left-handed hitting Murphy up.
Maybe they have a scouting report that DeGrom might want to run.
It looks like he can run.
Well, pretty much straight up. I'd take away the hole on the left side from Murph.
Murphy already has a 3-run homer in this series.
He's been the red-hot hitter in this series. And they're going to play behind DeGrom as they should.
Yep, Teixeira just let Whitley know that he's moving back.
Whitley's best pitch is his changeup. What's Murphy going to do if he swings at the changeup?
He's going to pull it. Darn right. So you got to hold the runner on and move back when the pitcher breaks from the belt. Sneak back, get back as fast as you can to cover as much ground. Murph swings at a bad one. Very rare. Murph's been very disciplined at the plate during this hot streak. Just go in a stretch, creep back, now get back, cover the ground. Nice.
Whitley bounces it in there, knocked down with the chest protector by McCann to keep Tejada put. Did the nerves come up again for that starting pitcher when he faces his first jam? You know, you get over in that first inning, but maybe comes back a little bit.
Well, then you have to make sure you don't give the hitter too much credit. Just stick to your game plan. Getting ahead, throwing strikes. Sometimes you try to be too fine with guys on base.
Strike 3 call. Murphy caught looking. And Whitley gets out of a big jam in the third. Now it took the Met pitching staff 65 at bats to get their first hit. It took Jacob DeGrom only 1. No score at Citi Field. Mets National Series opener in D.C. plus up to the minute news as the Rangers get set to open up their Eastern Conference Finals against the Canadiens in Montreal on Loudmouth, presented by Caesars Atlantic City tomorrow at 5:30 only on SNY. Time for our Verizon trivia question. Which player hit the most home runs at Shea Stadium for the Yankees?
Oh, that's going to be a trick question. Kind of. Does that make sense or no to you?
Well, we have one guy that played us. There's a couple. How many years did the Yankees play here?
That's what I'm saying. The Yankees played.
Well, from 1997. Well, 98 was the first time they played at Shea.
No, but I'm talking about when the Yankees played there when they were refurbishing Yankee Stadium.
Oh, well, that was only 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, it was 74, 75.
And the big home run hitter,
Bobby Mercer,
did not hit a lot of home runs here.
Yeah, but he might have hit enough.
Or somebody else might have. So you're saying that would be the trick question?
That's what I was thinking, that it would be a player from that generation.
Okay. Ellsbury rolls over one. Murph's got it charged. The cross-body throw, and nicely done by Murph for the first out.
Murph didn't even throw it between his legs. Just traditional this time.
Thank goodness.
Well, Gardner got a hit on a similar ball yesterday when Murph was maybe playing a little too deep, and Ellsbury with similar kind of speed.
Well, the Mets in the past have led the league in giving up base hits like that on ground balls that should be out because they play so deep. Particularly when you had Quintanilla at shortstop and Murph. They'd always play on the outfield fringe.
Now Teixeira, who struck out his first time, and he lifts one to center field. Chris Young trying to measure it. And there are two away, so two quick outs for Jacob deGrom in the top of the fourth.
Well, I tell you what, Teixeira's just got a lift swing right now. That's all he wants to do on the left side of the plate is lift. Watch this. He's just looking to big uppercut.
A part of him probably is saying, I can't help the team running the bases. I just can help them hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Certainly saw that in Monday's game. His inability to run might have cost the Yankees the game. Here's Brian McCann, who had a base hit into shallow left center his first time.
Well, remember, this is a guy that runs everything out hard, Gary. You recall the pop-up dropped at Yankee Stadium by the second baseman,
Luis Castillo.
He was hustling all the way around. He always runs everything out hard. He's hurting.
K-Rod was celebrating, and Teixeira was digging for 270 feet.
Keith was anticipating, and I was pounding on the.
I saw it coming. I've
never seen you more angry in the booth.
You felt it, Gary.
McCann lines one to right. On comes Granderson sliding, and he makes the catch. Beautiful play for Curtis Granderson. 7-pitch inning for Jacob deGrom, helped out by the defense. Murphy and now Granderson. No score at Citi Field as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Themselves quite nicely. Jacob deGrom and Chase Whitley matching zeros into the bottom of the fourth. Good crowd for the final game of this 4-game 2-stadium Subway Series. David Wright leads off the home fourth and takes a fastball strike. David struck out his first time up, one of 2 strikeouts for Whitley over the first 3 innings. Whitley got himself out of a first and third 1-out jam in the third. Now faces 3, 4, and 5 in the Mets order. Granderson and Chris Young to follow.
Good try. They've been getting David out away. I'm trying to watch his swing, why he's not able to reach it.
David playing his 50th game against the Yankees tonight. That's more than any other Met player.
You see the frustration in David.
It's like, is anyone going to throw me a fastball when I get ahead in the count? Answer is going to be no.
Well, you know what you got to do, like the late Mr. Kiner said, you got to take your walks.
Or in the vernacular, spit on it. Goes down swinging. Second time Wright's been struck out. 1 out in the fourth. Well, there have been 4 men who have managed both the Mets and Yankees, but Casey Stengel was unique in that he wore the uniform of all 4 New York teams: the Giants, the Dodgers, Great run as skipper of the Yankees and the original manager of the Mets.
What a great shot of Casey as a young man.
Because you don't see that very often.
No, I've never seen that. They say he was quite the character.
He's number 37, retired by both the Mets and the Yankees.
That he could talk baseball till the cows came home. He used to live off of Central Park, Ronnie. And he used to walk, take his morning walks, go get the paper and coffee. Would take all morning. He'd stop and talk to everybody that would listen.
Casey came from where he grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, but I know later in life he lived in Glendale, Pasadena area outside of Los Angeles.
And in California, he trained to be a dentist, a left-handed dentist, which is a rarity. 1-1 to Granderson. He pops one up in foul ground. Jeter playing over that way. Can't make the play.
Wow, how often do you see that? A guy that has made just great plays going into the stands. Wow.
That time a little bit shy of the railing and just couldn't reel it in.
I mean, he has what, dozens of iconic plays. One of them diving into the stands. Couldn't get to the stands on that pop-up.
Granderson grounded out his first time up. And he goes down on the changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Whitley to start the fourth.
He's got a good change, Ron.
Yeah, I said when the game started that his plus pitch is his changeup, but he's thrown enough fastballs and sliders to keep the Mets honest. And when he wants to put them away, just like Tanaka used his split finger, Whitley's using his changeup.
Well, the Mets have gone 12 straight innings without a run. 2 out and nobody on. Chris Young, the batter. Young grounded out to the second baseman his first time. And again, the Yankees put 3 infielders on the left side against Chris. They've been very consistent in their shifts in this series.
Got a good little tight slider working. Both these young men have kind of settled in.
Whitley's really a breaking ball pitcher. He's going to throw sliders, changeups, and then when he gets ahead of you, might surprise you with a fastball occasionally. Another change.
Chase Whitley, native of Alabama, played at Troy University in the state of Alabama. 15th round pick by the Yankees in 2010, mostly a reliever in the minors, but making his debut as a starting pitcher, and he just misses and falls behind Chris Young 3-1.
Football player from the Giants was from Troy University.
Was he Urban Euro?
Yeah.
Brandon Jeter. And that's 4 scoreless innings for Chase Whitley, matching Jacob deGrom as we head to the 5th. No score. start to his season. Goes up against Tanner Roark in the opener of the 3-game set in Washington. Nats playing very shorthanded these days. No Bryce Harper, no Ryan Zimmerman, no Adam LaRoche, who had really been picking up the slack for the other two.
The catcher, of course, has been out since the beginning, since the Mets series in the first 4 games.
Wilson Ramos back now, but struggling since his return. Alfonso Soriano leads off in the 5th inning, and so it's really kept the Nats from getting any kind of momentum going. Even when they have their players healthy, their defense has really been a disappointment. They thought they would be very good at catching the ball this year, and it hasn't gone that way.
Well, it's always good to have a response when you're asked a question.
As long as we don't have to repeat it. And here is Solarte waiting on deck. Soriano struck out his first time up. DeGrom beats him with a fastball, 1-2.
Not afraid to throw his fastball.
DeGrom's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 2. What do you think, Ronnie? Is he more Arroyo? Is he more Samardzija with the hair?
I think he beats them both. I think he's got the best moss in the league right now.
He called Bronson Arroyo his hair idol.
Well, nothing wrong with having a little style as a player, I'll tell you. He's got it.
3-2 to Soriano leading off in the 5th.
It's amazing how that shot right there showed you something. Soriano's been behind. He gets a 3-2 fastball. He's almost on it. You know, starting to inch closer to it.
And you can see the expression on his face. But you know what I like? DeGrom's 3-2. Here it comes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Our camera got rattled by that last foul ball.
As long as it's not out.
Strike 3 call. Soriano caught looking, doesn't like it. Mumbles at Hunter Wendelstedt before slinking away.
That had plenty of the plate, Keith.
Two straight fastballs, too close to take. Borderline, yes. He didn't get the call, but 2 straight fast. This is a pitch to hit. It's right down the pipe.
Hunter Wendelstedt has always been a pitcher-friendly umpire. He hunts for strikes. He got one there.
And as Ronnie said earlier, I mean, that's Soriano's pitch. He's a low ball hitter. 1 out here, Solarte. We're going to come back here and do a double play his first time up. If you had to rate the top surprise stories in baseball the first 7 weeks of the season, this kid's right up there. Nobody had heard of coming into the season, and Solarte is leading the American League in batting. The deepest into a season a Yankee has led the American League in batting since Joe DiMaggio was a rookie. 1938. 36, excuse me.
Yeah.
Rookie year.
Charlie Blackmon would be on that list.
I'll tell you what, I am very impressed with Mr. DeGrom, who is now throwing more fastballs. When he's going a second time through the order, I love it.
1-2, too high.
So he's throwing
Roberts, the on deck batter.
So he's throwing him everything here. 2 fastballs, a change of fastball up. He can throw slider now. He hasn't seen it. Didn't work out. Can throw it for a strike.
Second straight full count for DeGrom.
Strikeouts are very seductive for a young pitcher. You start to get into the role where, boy, let's get this guy. We just got Soriano.
Cambio.
And Solarte takes strike 3 call. Back-to-back call third strikes for Jacob DeGrom. 2 out of the inning.
Ronnie, it's not one where he wanted it, but it was a strike. It was up.
It's all right, though. When you're 3-2, Keith, and you decide to go with the changeup, you really just want to throw it for a strike. You're hoping the speed gets the hitter.
And it did. It had the corner. And a perfect world, DeGrom would have want to throw it at knees in black.
Oh, it's not that easy.
No, I understand.
6 in a row retired by DeGrom. Now Roberts lifts one to left, and Eric Young with plenty of room going back. Side retired. 7 straight retired by DeGrom. We're halfway through. No score at Citi Field.
Who was going to blink?
He sits down with second-round pick Jace Amaro, plus an inside look at this week's rookie minicamp on an all-new Jets Nation, Sunday at 7 p.m. only on SNY. Follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today.
Solarte, he's a goofy,
goofy
guy.
He was late getting out, wasn't he?
Yep.
Forgot to go over and play in the spot. Jeter, of course, is playing the third base position right now.
Jeter told Solarte where to go.
And the big shift on Duda.
Lucas hit one well to left center his first time up, but Gardner ran it down on the warning track. Mets have had 2 hits. The Yankees have had 3. You would think that these 2 pitchers had never thrown a pitch in the major leagues before tonight.
They look well seasoned, don't they? It's fun watching them both so far.
I mean, think about it. It's the old Rusty Stompway. There have been 5 hits in this game, and 2 of them have been by these pitchers. Changeup misses, 2-1 to Duda. With Tejada and Centeno to follow for the Mets in the home 5th. Chase Whitley working off the stretch the entire game, and he misses to fall behind Duda 3-1.
Well, he's got to throw a fastball here, right? 3-1. Use the big part of the park. Leave it outside. Kind of run it away. If you're the pitcher, can you do that as a young guy?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Beautifully.
Raise your hand if you can.
Whitley has not walked about it tonight. He struck out 4. 3-2 coming to Duda. And Lucas grounds one down to Teixeira. 1 out. Well, you never know what you're going to expect when you've got two pitchers making their big league debuts against one another. But so far tonight, both teams have to be very pleased with what they've seen.
I've been so impressed. Start first with Chase Whitley. Guy throws strikes. He's got a plus changeup, and DeGrom really something to work with. I was thinking between innings, if you're Dan Worthen, you're salivating to work with this kid because he's got the pitches that refined. Could mean really some big things.
I haven't got much to add to that. I'm more impressed with these kids in their first debut being so composed.
Here's Tejada, who has one of the Mets' 2 hits, single through the hole into right his first time. Well, the thing about DeGrom, and this is what we've heard from everybody in the Mets organization, is, you know, as a guy who came to pitching late and who's made such a meteoric rise through the farm system, that he's gotten better and better, and even this year better than that.
I was competitive, Gary, before I was competent. And sometimes you can get by with that just alone, being someone who just wants to throw it in there, and I'm all in. And DeGrom, you know, that's what I've heard too. The same kind of deals, that he feels like he's one of the athletes on the field when he takes the mound, and he likes guys like that. Adam Wainwright's like that for the Cardinals. You know, they set a good example. I want to be a complete player like the, you know, you're not going to be like the everyday athletes, but you aspire to be.
On the other hand, Chase Whitley was on nobody's list of prospects.
Well, in the pregame, I said he's the can-miss kid, right? I mean, he's the kid that is a capable pitcher that pitches in AAA, gets a couple of cups of coffee, but never ever makes it.
I mean, the scouts say of Whitley, yeah, he could be a long guy in the big leagues, but here he is, big league debut, starting. He's pitching a shutout into the 5th. Take that. 3-2 to Tejada. You know, Mets had a guy like that. His name's Dylan G.
Yeah, right.
There's nobody's big time prospect. Look what he's done.
They don't have a radar gun for Hart, do they? Not yet. Or maybe they think they do. I don't know. I don't.
Let's look at the spreadsheet. Ball 4, and Tejada's on with the walk.
First mistake he's made. Not because he threw a ball, not because he threw it and it went back to the backstop. And Joe Girardi has a frown. A 3-2 changeup to Ruben Tejada. Come on.
I agree. It's getting too cute.
No need.
Well, that's the first walk given up by Whitley. DeGrom has also walked only one. And now Juan Santana will come up with a man on. Santana grounds it out to the first baseman and is only at bat.
A bit surprising with McCann behind the plate.
Oh, I would blame McCann. I wouldn't blame Whitley.
I mean, shoot, it's a big ballpark. You got Tejada, hasn't got a home run. I mean, here, hit it.
Again, Tejada getting a lot of attention for his speed.
Jacob DeGrom, who had a base hit in his only big league at bat. He's hitting 1,000. Waits on deck. Juan Santana took Travis d'Arnaud's spot on the roster. Travis put on the 7-day concussion disabled list after being whacked in the head Tuesday night. Santana flew in today. He was with the Las Vegas team in El Paso. Had a flight delay, had to fly through Dallas, so it took him a while to get here, but gets rewarded with a spot in the lineup.
He won't be tired until 1, 2 o'clock tonight.
He'll be snoring on that plane tonight. Trust me. With d'Arnaud, remember he stayed in the game Tuesday night and finished off the game, and he felt fine that night after Soriano whacked him in the top of the helmet. But the next day he had trouble passing all the concussion tests. They tested him again today and then finally made the decision that he did indeed have a concussion and had to go on the disabled list. We've had that 7-day list specifically for concussions now for a few years, just so teams aren't tempted to keep a player with a concussion ready to go
for
this way. Days. Yeah, you give him the time he needs. Two and 1 to Santana.
Okay, good pitch to hit here. Do you send Tejada, make something happen? Put it in motion.
Why not?
I agree.
Juan's a free swinger, doesn't have much power. Dylan Betances gets up in the Yankees bullpen. First time we've seen him in this series. 3-1 to Centeno. And it's inside. Second walk in a row given up by Whitley, and Centeno, I'm not sure, knew that it was ball 4. He wasn't quite vacating yet.
Top step here. It's going to be a bunt situation. Girardi giving the bunt signs. And Larry Rothschild's going to go out and have a little chat.
Watch Centeno's reaction. I'm not sure he knew it was ball 4.
Well, I think it was a strike. It's just that McCann had to reach across his body. Let's see if he catches it. No, it's inside.
He framed it there.
Let's see it. Comes across that plate. Boy.
Close. Striker.
Well, takes a catcher to know where that pitch is. Rothschild's going to come out to do two things. One, to talk to Whitley, tell him what the situation is. This is National League Baseball. This young man's going to be bunting these guys over. You're going to cover the third base line, all those kind of things.
Well, and if you're DeGrom, who's already shown he can handle the bat swinging it, he's going to try and make the third baseman handle it. And we've seen Solarte have some difficulty on some plays in this series.
Well, I'm a bit surprised. Solarte's got to come in a little more, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got to be in the 5-10 feet inside that.
Well, I don't understand this.
DeGrom might end up bunting for a hit. They put on the wheel play, and DeGrom gets the bunt down beautifully, but Solarte's only play is at first. So the Yankees run the wheel, but DeGrom's bunt was so good, it didn't matter.
Well, Keith will speak to this. The wheel only works if the third baseman comes over and takes the bunt away.
Precisely. Nice bunting, though, on a ball inside. Look at Solarte. What's he thinking? Now he comes. He's got to be in there putting all kinds of pressure on DeGrom to bunt the ball. So, don't understand. Don't even. He had to know what the play was on. I mean, shoot, Larry Rothschild went out. He's got to. I mean, come on.
Jeter's covering third, but Solarte not charging as well as he should have. It's going to be all for Chase Whitley and giving up a run, but with runners at second and third and Eric Young coming up, Joe Girardi's going to bring Dylan Betances into the game.
Wow.
So Whitley's first big league start ends at 74 pitches. Over 4 2/3, and he'll leave 2 runners aboard for Betances to try to clean up. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. No score in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back to Citi Field. The New York native in. Yangervis Solarte moves from third base to second base. Kelly Johnson comes in to play third. He'll bat ninth. And the pitcher Betances will hit eighth.
Well, when you look at the bullpen for the Yankees, David Robertson closes. Adam Warren has been very good in that bullpen, but Betances has probably been the biggest surprise coming out of spring training. Last 28 outs, 17 are punch outs. Yankees are looking for one here.
Mets have second and third and 2 out. Eric Young, the batter, is grounded to first, flying to left. Tejada at third, Santana at second. And Young takes the slider at his feet for ball one. So Whitley went 4 2/3, allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and now has to hold his breath to see if Betances can keep his runners from scoring. EY swings over the slider, 1-1.
Nasty slider from the big man. 6'8", 260. Looks like more than 260.
Not a strike.
A tight end.
Betances, who went to high school in Brooklyn at Grand Street Campus High. One and 1 to EY. Grounds one down to third, handled by Johnson just into the game. And the Mets strand 2 in scoring position. So Whitley has himself a scoreless debut. And we go to the 6th. Mets and Yankees still scoreless. NY is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital of the New York Mets. Kelly Johnson will lead off in the 6th inning for the Yankees, and we check in with Kevin.
He's done some nice things for them this year, Gary, and he's also played for some really good managers too. I mean, think about it. Bobby Cox in Atlanta, Joe Madden in Tampa, now Joe Girardi. I was asking him the differences, how these guys handle personalities, how they get the most out of their players. He said Bobby Cox was pretty simple. Lace them up, go out and play hard, and do your thing. Said Joe Madden, well, you've heard about some of the things that he does, but I'll give you a couple of examples why I think he's great. He really keeps you loose. Basically, you could do whatever you want, but you better run hard to first. That's really his one rule. I mean, there was one game last year, he said, I walked into the clubhouse in the middle of the afternoon and there's a mariachi band playing. I mean, just trying to keep guys loose. He said the other thing, which I thought was terrific, and it really It kept you fresh. At the middle of summer last year, I felt like it was the beginning of the season. There was a point, and Johnson goes down here for the strikeout by DeGrom. There was a point where he calls it American Legion Week, guys. He basically locks the clubhouse till 4:30. There's no batting practice on the field. You're not allowed to get to the stadium early. He said most guys love it, some don't, but he said, I'll tell you what, it keeps you fresh. It's a perfect break. He usually does it at a place that's very, very hot. And then Joe Girardi, he said he's only been here a little time, but the one thing that he loves, he keeps all the pressure out. He really does a good job communicating with players. I felt since I've been here, I can tell him anything. So getting the best out of your players. Gary.
Everybody's got their different ways, don't they?
They sure do.
Brett Gardner up for the third time takes a strike, and DeGrom keeps getting better and better as this game goes along.
I had to go into Joe Madden's office for a pregame meeting. There was a penguin in there. I said, Joe, does the penguin stay? He said, yes, of course he does.
Gardner's fly deep to right and drawing a walk. And a curveball from DeGrom. First time we've seen that. Third time around the batting order, keeping something in his pocket.
Trying to backdoor it here. Just didn't get the snap on it, right, Ronnie?
Derek Jeter waiting on deck. DeGrom has struck out 5, walked 1.
Nice.
Good change up to get ahead on Gardner 1-2. This is a great pitch to
It's
him.
not what you usually see from a first start. The ability to command your secondary pitches. And they've gotten better as the game has gone on for DeGrom.
Got the nerves loose after some 3-2 counts early in the game. Hasn't allowed more than one base runner in any inning. He's retired 8 in a row. 1-2. Check swing by Gardner. 2-2. Gardner's had a good series, 6 for 16, including that grand slam on Monday night. Chase Whitley's sticking around. Why not? He's done his job for as long as they let him.
2-2 on the outside corner, got him looking at the fastball. 6 strikeouts for DeGrom, including 4 of the last 5 hitters.
It's a little paint your wagon here.
4 of the last 5 hitters, 2 of the last 4 though have been taken, which tells me when you're a pitcher facing a lineup of big league hitters, if they're taking called third strikes, that means they're being set up. Hunter is a good pitcher's umpire though.
So now Jeter, in his final game in Flushing, has gone 0 for 2, grounded to short, and a liner back to DeGrom that Jacob turned into a double play.
Jeter's biggest moment against the Mets for you is the Bobby Jones home run.
Game 4 in 2000 series, first pitch of the game after the Mets had won Game 3 and had a little life extinguished. One pitch. Line, one hopper, Murph's got it. Side retired. 6 scoreless innings for Jacob DeGrom, and it looks like he's just getting started. He's set down 10 in a row. No score at Citi Field. Well, Jacob deGrom being left alone in the Mets dugout. It's not like he's working on no hitter.
It's still, though, it's 0-0. He's working on a gem. Just let him be there. Leave him alone. Don't come over and give him any kind of info. He's got to work it.
Think about this. The two starting pitchers tonight, deGrom and Whitley, both at this point in their major league careers have a 0 ERA, and each has a 1,000 batting average. How often can that possibly happen?
You're right.
It's like a Ray Searage moment.
There you go. Ray Searage famously 1-0, 1-loss record as a Met, and 1-for-1 at the plate. 1,000 and 1,000. Daniel Murphy 0 for 2, and grounds Betances' breaking ball foul. Dylan Betances came in to get the final out in the 5th to strand 2 in scoring position, leaving Whitley with 4 2/3 scoreless innings. Meanwhile, deGrom not showing any signs of weakening. Thought it was interesting, though, that Girardi pulled Whitley when he did.
Well, you mentioned before he didn't want him to go through the lineup for the 3rd time, but Betances has been awfully good, and I think that's where Joe's going. He's going for the jugular here.
And the other piece is because he got 9 innings out of Tanaka last night, he's got everybody available.
Ooh, good breaking ball.
And Betances strikes out Murphy.
Wow, he's got some down tilt.
Ball players call this a snapdragon. I mean, that just doesn't stop breaking.
What did Lynchy call it? The electric hook or whatever.
No, I think most people call it an Uncle Charlie, and he said that Dwight Gooden was so good they called it a Lord Charles. Lynchy.
David Wright had no luck against Chase Whitley. Struck out twice. Now square off against Betances. He is one big dude.
Right?
I mean, he's J.R. Richards size.
Yeah, he's 96 and he's got a hammer. He's a kid they've been waiting for, though, for a long time, 2 or 3 seasons to mature as a starter. Hasn't worked out yet, but he has made his mark so far in the bullpen.
Now 26 years old. Throws a fastball by Wright, and it's 0-2. That is impressive.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher close his front foot as much as Betances. This fastball right by him. His front foot, of course, is left foot, right-handed. He closes it almost like it's in front of his other toe. Cholula
helps him get to the Cholula. 96 for the flamethrower. 34 strikeouts in 21 innings for Betances.
That foot just completely closed, which allows him to stay closed, and that's a big body coming at you with a hook.
Pitching from about 53 feet away. Strike 3 called. That's right on the high slider. Back-to-back strikeouts for Betances.
Watch David, just watch his front shoulder. Dead in the water. That is just buckle your world.
Wright is struck out for the 3rd time tonight. So now Curtis Granderson with 2 out. Curtis is grounded out and struck out.
Well, okay, this young man's got a little breaking ball. He likes to throw an awful lot. And you've got to make him get it up. It's got good down tilt. You've got to find that range at the elevation as it strike at the knees.
Chris Young would be next.
Think on Betances, you got to say to yourself, if I get a fastball, I cannot miss it.
That slider is just wipe out, isn't it?
The can's sitting outside, but it really doesn't matter when it breaks like that.
I mean, Granderson isn't coming close to hitting that ball. 1-2. Got it looking. Dylan Betances strikes out the side in the bottom of the 6th. Jacob deGrom back to the mound for the 7th against the heart of the Yankee order with no score. In-depth player profile and exclusive behind-the-scenes video only on Mets blog, presented by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Like the timely promo. That's very nice.
Yes.
Your Verizon trivia question: which player hit the most home runs at Shea Stadium for the Yankees? Ronnie opined it was probably back in '74 and '75, and there you go. Greg Nettles with that sweet left-handed home run swing.
He did, didn't he?
And boy, could he pick it at third.
Unbelievably underrated player,
yes,
in my opinion.
Overshadowed on that Yankee ball club.
Jacoby Ellsbury leads off the 7th and takes a fastball strike from Jacob deGrom.
They acquired him from Cleveland for whom? Do you recall?
A multiplayer deal.
It was.
Yeah, because he started in Minnesota.
Did Oscar Gamble go over there?
They may have been Gamble in that trade too. You're right.
If Dave Freed was here, he'd look it up for us.
Well, Dave's busy with that other sport.
Is there another sport going on?
There's a couple of them.
You'll have to fill me in. 1-1 to Ellsbury. In the air to left field. And Eric Young right there waiting for it. 1 out. The Yankees got Nettles for Johnny Ellis, Jerry Kenny, Charlie Spikes, and Rusty Torres.
Oh, it was a straight deal just for Craig.
They also got Jerry Moses in that deal. So there you go.
Nice deal.
But how about this? Nettles started out with the Twins. He was traded by the Twins to the Indians with Dean Chance.
Wow.
For Louis Tiant.
Oh boy.
How about that? One and one to Teixeira.
That's a good pitch to Teixeira. He likes the ball out away from him. Any ball inside, there's only one thing he can do: pull it into the shift or pull it foul.
He lost his grip there too. Looked like.
Teixeira struck out and flied out.
Well, we're getting to the point of the game now where one pitch could be the difference.
2-1 count here to Teixeira. Big pitch.
Fat of the order right here. The meat, I should say.
And DeGrom throws that curveball and misses. So he's thrown a couple of curveballs third time through the order, not able to throw a strike with it.
Slowed his arm down just a little bit, which gave the indication to Teixeira not to swing. He's going to have to challenge him here.
He's walked only one tonight, struck out 6. 3-1 to Teixeira, and he misses high. That's his second walk. And that's going to get some stirring around in the Mets bullpen. And DeGrom at 86 pitches, 1 out of the 7th. Nobody throwing yet. So now 1 out and 1 on. Keep in mind that Teixeira not running well right now. McCann at the plate never runs well. Let's have the full shift on against McCann, who had a sinking liner to right that Granderson made a nice play on last time up, and that one's grounded right into the shift. Should be 2. Right covering second. The return to first skips away from Duda, and they can't turn the double play. They get the 4-5 force on Teixeira, but McCann reaches safely.
Well, McCann, who doesn't run well, Murph's got to kind of come get it. He lays it back and waits for it. There's got to be a little more of a sense of urgency.
I'd have to say David did not put anything on that throw either. Kind of slung it over there.
Yep.
Through a changeup.
I mean, I know he's a third baseman. It's different, but you got to come across. That's got to be thrown as hard as you could throw it.
Yep.
Well, we saw David in the middle of that game-ending double play on Monday. Made a spectacular play with a runner bearing down on him, but not that time. Adam Warren up in the Yankee bullpen. So 2 on McCann at first. It gives a chance to Soriano here in the 7th. And a good slider by DeGrom to start him off.
Remember, last at bat, Soriano was in hitters counts, 3-2 counts. He challenged him with fastballs. This time, Soriano looking for dead red, got the slider in the dirt.
Soriano's the kind of hitter, if he gets called on strikes, the next at bat, he's swinging.
Struck out twice tonight, swinging and looking. And he drives this one toward the gap in left center. That's going to be down for a base hit. McCann around second, going to third. Chris Young plays the carom. McCann trying to score. Relayed by Tejada to the plate is too high. And the Yankees have the first run of the game. The Mets unable to turn a double play, and the Yankees cash in. A double for Soriano to drive in McCann. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, the Mets have been a lot better defense. Hanging slider, by the way, right there to Soriano. And that's in the gap. And McCann was like painful to watch him run here. He has lost so much speed over the years. Never was fleet of foot.
Hustling all the way, though. It's a double play that the Mets did not turn that leads to this first run for the Yankees.
Soriano at double, took third on the throw, and now Solarte takes outside.
Well, Murphy on his waiting for the ball instead of coming and getting it. I don't care how slow the runner is, and Wright not getting enough on it, but you can't get on David. He's a third baseman. He doesn't play shortstop.
But that's the other piece of this, you know, for all the good that the shifts do and the hits that they take away. That's lined right at Murphy to end the inning. They put players in unfamiliar positions and makes it that much more difficult to do what they normally do naturally. It costs the Mets a run. DeGrom gives up 1 in the 7th. first time in the big leagues, and it was only partially his fault. Mets box score presented by Chrysler. Mets have done very little offensively. DeGrom has, well, he has half the Met hits tonight in his major league debut. Chase Whitley went 4 2/3 for the Yankees. Dellin Betances has faced 4 and retired 4. DeGrom appears to be getting the "you're done" type handshakes. He's due up 5th in the inning. He's thrown 91 pitches. Chris Young will lead off for the Mets in the home 7th.
How about I'd like to say, if I were DeGrom, I'm done. How about you guys are done? I've done my job. You guys are done. Score me a point.
Scott Rice getting up in the bullpen. Well, DeGrom has been tremendous.
Yeah, really.
You know, there's another point to be made about the Mets defense on that run that they just gave up. If Juan Lagares is playing center field, might have had a play at the plate. And that's, again, it's no knock on Chris Young. He's a good outfielder, but Juan Lagares may be the best center fielder in baseball. He's a great arm, great at cutting balls off in the gap. And he's not playing, and none of us can understand why.
Well,
and I hate to think, and again, I'm not trying to put the knock on Chris Young. That is not my goal here. But I'd hate to think it's only because they gave Chris Young $7 million that he's playing and Lagares isn't.
Well, how about Betances hangs a couple and we get the kid a win?
Ball and a strike to Chris. Lucas Duda on deck. Ruben Tejada behind him. Adam Warren was up in the Yankee bullpen that last half inning in case they got to the pitcher's spot, which is now due to lead off the next inning for the Yankees. Ball and 2 strikes to Young.
All the 6 strikeouts from the Mets in this order are from the 2 through 4 hitters. It's surprising to have Murphy strike out twice. David Wright has struck out 3 times, and Granderson twice.
And Young goes down on the slider. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Dellin Betances, who just looks all world.
Well, what was that earned run average coming in? Was it under 2? I can see why. This young man has a yellow hammer.
I think that's our 5th or 6th name for this breaking pitch already. That's how good it is.
Now Duda, who's 0 for 2, fly deep to left, grounded to first.
$124 days. The Young are
spread over 3 years.
Are working here tonight.
Look at his hands over the ball. He's got huge mitts.
So he gets that spin.
Look at him. Look at his hand around the ball. Let me get a look at it. He'd take it out of his glove and cooperate. There you go. Look at his hands. They're huge.
Doesn't he remind you body type a little bit of J.R. Richard, Keith?
Yeah. Yeah, but J.R. was a little leaner.
Oh, wow. Good breaking ball. 1 and 2 to Duda.
All right, fasten your seatbelt. You're in the box.
I don't care how much videotape you watch. Got to see that up close and personal.
1-2. Strike 3 called. 5 consecutive strikeouts for Dellin Betances. So the New York kid making mincemeat in the New York rivalry.
That was a hanger, really. It was up in the strike zone. It wasn't his best.
You know what this looks like? Remember when you're in Little League and the kid that's 12 years old is 5'10", and he's the only one who has a good breaking ball, and the kids come up and 3 pitches they sit down? That's what this looks like.
Yes. Look at his fingers over the ball.
And he's got the circle change grip. He's not throwing these circle changes tonight.
Ruben Tejada hasn't been retired tonight. Single to right, drew a walk against Chase Whitley, the starter.
96-mile-an-hour fastball to boot.
Yeah, that's like an oh, by the way.
I got that too.
Plus, he's like a big freight train out there, the way he gets his body into it, Ronnie.
One and one to Ruben. But it'll be interesting to see how far Girardi can go with Betances. Again, that spot leads off in the batting order the next inning, so you figure they bat for him.
No, they'll bat for him. It'll be Warren will pitch the 8th, and Robertson will come in the 9th or pitch a 4-out save. I think that's the.
I mean, the 8th inning had been the province of Sean Kelly, who just went on the disabled list this week.
He's not even messing around with Tejada. Here comes some cheddar. See if you can dial it up a notch.
Justin, listening and talking to Joe, that seemed the way he wanted to go. Betances with those middle innings. Warren was going to replace Kelly in that 8th, and Robertson on the call.
And Betances has been beyond spectacular here. 6 batters, 5 strikeouts, and now ahead on Tejada, 1 and 2.
Here comes the slider.
Oh, struck him out. 6 consecutive strikeouts for Dellin Betances. One of the more spectacular relief pitching performances we've ever seen in a Subway Series game. That was monstrous. 1-0 Yankees. Hit 2 home runs today?
No, but he did appeal on one of his plays he thought was a hit, and it was. He's going to be waiting a couple days.
Well, Dellin Betances is getting congratulations from his pitching coach, Larry Rothschild. I don't know what Larry can tell him except that was awesome.
And it was a machine performance.
Well, Jacob deGrom done after 7 innings in his big league debut. He was fantastic, but might get a loss tonight unless the Mets can rally. Scott Rice will pitch the 8th.
I have to say, in my time here working with you guys, I've never seen a reliever in the middle of a game have a better outing than Betances had.
There's Adam Warren getting ready for the 8th inning. Zoilo Almonte will bat for Betances. So deGrom is out. 91 pitches in 7 innings. A run, 4 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and well, you can't have much of a better debut than deGrom did. Almonte, making his season debut, was just called up the other day. Had 106 at bats for the Yankees last year, and takes a strike. He's a switch hitter. At 236 for the Yankees last season, a homer and 9 RBIs.
So we had 2 rookies start back-to-back for the Mets. 13 innings, 4 runs, 4 base on balls, 10 strikeouts. Back-to-back rookies.
Well, Montero was impressive. DeGrom was even more impressive. Kelly Johnson hitting 9th in the order on deck. And then Brett Gardner against Rice here in the 8th. So you got Almonte, the switch hitter, then the 2 lefties. That's why Rice is in here. Scott Rice was a happy man today. He saw Josh Edgin walk into the clubhouse. That means he's finally got another lefty alongside him in the bullpen. Edgin called up today to take Kyle Farnsworth's spot on the pitching staff. Farnsworth released after last night's game. Kyle Farnsworth described himself last night after the game as very bitter. Almonte down on strikes. 1 out in the 8th. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. By Xerox, the company that simplifies the way work gets done. And by Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose: to stand apart. The 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. There's an old subway map. Kelly Johnson struck out his first time up. When you consider the Mets' career of Kyle Farnsworth, it's like a meteor, right? He wasn't going to make the team in spring training. They thought so little of him, they didn't offer him the $100,000 retention bonus so they could send him down to the minors. They released him. Anybody could have had him. The Mets re-signed him. One day into the season, Parnell gets hurt. Farnsworth comes up. A week later, he's the closer. And he was the closer as recently as this week. And 2 days later, he gets released. Who's ever had a career with a team like that?
I don't know.
Only a pitcher would have a career like that. It wouldn't be an everyday player, you know, because the pitchers, they just serviceable arms, they can burn through them.
Well, Farnsworth was very unhappy, and there was a financial consideration to it. He had a 45-day opt-out where the Mets, if they released him, if they had waited to release him later, they would have owed him more money. And, you know, Sandy Alderson said, yeah, those things are always a consideration, but Farnsworth said, I want to find a team so I can come back here and beat this team.
I wish he would have taken that hatred and attitude out when he was in the Mets uniform. I mean, that would have served him better. I mean, you know, right after getting released, everyone has, you're bitter, say some things you probably shouldn't say. I mean, he's been around the block 100 times, so he should know what this game is all about. And plus performance, Keith. I mean, performance alone, you know, that's what this game's about. You were given the closer job. Did you deliver? Well, other than that 8th inning Miami, I would say no.
I was either he or Valverde.
Yeah.
And I thought Farnsworth did a credible job. I think the consideration was financial, was probably front and center. That's my feeling. When you got 2 guys that are basically doing the same job, and as Gary said, the financial consideration, that's gonna weigh heavily on the decision.
And Sandy defended the move today, said it was clear that Farnsworth had not pitched as well as Valverde over the last period of time. But, you know, you could also make the argument Farnsworth's working in the 9th inning. Valverde's good outings have all come in low leverage situations, and when he was out there closing, he didn't perform, which is why Farnsworth was closing in the first place.
I think probably his ball 4 right there too is that Valverde has more of a, correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, more of a rubber arm, something you can use longer, more often than Farnsworth.
Yeah, there were times that Farnsworth was not available. You're right.
At the end of the day, they're both stopgaps.
Yeah, the young guns are coming.
I mean, Henry Mejia, if the Mets were to need a closer tonight, would be the closer. Tomorrow it might be Jerry's Familia, who's up right now. Josh Edgin, just back from the minors, is up. Younger arms. Kelly Johnson takes low. I mean, the plan was for Jacob deGrom to be in the bullpen this week until Dylan G's lat forced him onto the disabled list and put deGrom in the spot to start tonight. And there are a lot more young arms behind the arm.
Hey, nice to see. Bullpen has been a problem for I don't know how many years here. Try something different.
Gardner 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Johnson at first and 1 out. And he gets tied in a knot.
Jeez. I don't think I've ever seen a swing like that before.
That ball almost hit him.
Oh my God, that's called getting tightened up. Getting just oh.
It's more a flap than a swing.
You need the WD 40 to get it loose.
That was the Tin Man swing.
I shouldn't make fun of that. It happens.
Not to you. Just missed. Derek Jeter getting ready for what might be his last at bat in Flushing.
I wonder what Derek's going to endeavor to do once he's retired. I'm sure he'll take it easy for a bit. But he's got a whole second half of his life ahead of him.
Maybe he'll get his NBA like Alex Rodriguez says he's going to. Well, the Mets scored 21 runs in 2 days at Yankee Stadium. They've come up in 16 innings here at Citi Field in this series and have not scored a single run. Yankees able to scratch out one tonight after winning 4-0 last night, after they scored 7 runs in each of the first 2 games in the Bronx. Different venues, different results.
A little upgrade, a serious upgrade in quality of starters too.
Yeah,
from the Yankees.
Well, Rice walked the first left-hand hitter he faced, and now he's 3-2 on the second one. Probably his last batter with Jeter next. Checking in on Johnson. Three-two coming from Rice to Gardner. Inside, ball 4. So Rice walks 2 left-hand hitters back to back. And here comes Terry Collins. And that's going to be all for Rice. He's got Familia ready for Jeter, and then edging for Ellsbury. 1-0 Yankees in the 8th as the Mets make a pitching change. Familia coming in. Carlin wants to know where the Knicks go after Steve Kerr. Kevin Burkhardt's commencement address from William Patterson University. It's lengthy, we hear. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you after the game. Jerry's Familia comes in to face Derek Jeter with 2 on in the 8th.
Well, pitched in Yankee Stadium. Issue for Familia right now. He's been lights out, or he has trouble with the walks. 10 in 18 1/3 innings.
Johnson at second, Gardner at first with 1 out, and what might be the final flushing at bat for Derek Jeter. The Yankee fans trying to get the Derek Jeter chant going. I mean, we might see Derek again in the 16th inning, so you can't say this is a wrap yet.
Can't have a wild pitch here.
Jeter's 0 for 3 tonight, 4 for 14 in this series. And Familia throws one to the backstop. What made you think that, Keith?
I just had a. My feminine side comes out. And I just have this sixth sense. I'm just worried. I just was worried. Familia coming in with men on base. Relievers don't come in with men on base too often. They start an inning. He's a diamond in the rough. I just was.
And it's not Centinel's fault. It's a slider that did not break. In fact, it backed up and went the other way.
So now the Mets are forced to bring the infield in, already behind 1-0 in this game. 1-0 to Jeter. And a fastball strike.
Boy, and you got the wrong guy up here. Knows how to handle the bat. Knows how to situational hit. 3,400 plus hits. And you're bringing the infield in because you have to. Boy, oh boy, could bust the game wide open.
Best batting average against the Mets, other than Rico Carty. Whoa. Scott Rice put the Mets in this predicament by walking 2 left-hand hitters in a row. And now Familia faced with a very tough task of getting him out of it. Josh Edgin getting ready with the left-hand hitter Ellsbury up next.
Jeter's going up the middle right now. That's what he always does. He's going to be vulnerable inside.
1-2.
Good little sink. A little late, Ronnie. Some sink.
Good sink. Late sink.
Yep.
And down is good for Derek if you're going to go inside. Not up. Good pitch.
97-mile-an-hour sinker. Kevin Brown.
Let's see if they stay inside. Or they're going to be foolish and go away.
One-two from Familia. And just got a piece of the slider.
Good breaking ball right there. The good hitters, don't they just stay in the at bat? This is a good pitch. Gets a piece. Not a great swing out in front. Oh boy.
Look at that picture on the left. Look how young.
Baby faced.
20th year in the big leagues. Last game at Citi Field. One-two. Breaking ball foul at the plate.
That was a hang piece. Look at Jeter shake his head. He knew it too. This was the pitch to hit right here. Too quick. Right there. Belt high. Just too quick. Got the people on their feet.
Again, the 1-2. Bouncing ball to Tejada, coming home. The tag. Out. Santino tags out Johnson for the second out.
stayed inside, Ronnie. Very wise. Tejada throwing on the run. Infield in. You should nail the guy at home.
Joe's going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire because of where Centeno was. I don't think it means anything.
I think he's perfectly.
Ask him.
He was not blocking the plate until he had the ball.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that Joe's coming out to talk to the umpire.
Nice job, Familia.
Meanwhile, Terry Collins is out at the mound, planning to take Familia out and bring in Josh Edgin. Girardi heads off. Edgin comes in.
Well, you should make this play. This is routine. Nice job by Familia.
Awfully nice pitching. You're right, Keith.
We'll take a break. Josh Edgin coming in for his season debut, trying to get one huge out. Josh Edgin just called up today, comes in to face Jacoby Ellsbury. First and third, 2 out. Ellsbury floats one, shallow left. In comes Young. He'll get there. Side retire. Edgin throws one pitch, gets one king-sized out. That sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Mets still down 1-0.
They take on the Nationals in a 3-game set. Coverage on SNY begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. New pitcher for the Yankees after a terrific outing by Betances. Adam Warren in the game now as Yankees looking to hold their lead 1-0 going to the bottom of the 8th. About those Nationals, they have been wildly inconsistent this year. Still above 500 at 21-19. The ironic thing, their record last year, this exact date, 21-19, when they weren't a playoff team. So they haven't shown a lot of improvement, and there's a number of different reasons why. 36 errors, that's second worst in Major League Baseball. Ian Desmond has 10 of them all by himself. And they're just not consistent hitting the ball. Yes, they're without Ryan Zimmerman and Bryce Harper, and they were without Ramos for a long time, their catcher. But they're hitting just .213 with runners in scoring position. Even their pitching, while it's been good, just has not been great. So, Gary, while many expected the Nationals to kind of take off, run away with the NL East, it's still the Braves who are in front. Let's go back to you.
It's been a rough year plus for the Nats, hasn't it? Adam Warren in to pitch for the Yankees. Juan Centeno leads off the home 8th inning.
Adam Warren had the career at North Carolina that everyone thought Matt Harvey would. He was 32-4 as Bobby Bray was on deck. Warren has been awfully good. Only 4 earned runs the last 22 innings pitched. But his last outing was Sunday in Milwaukee, where he gave up a walk-off single.
And that was against the former Yankee Mark Reynolds, who the Yankees declined to re-sign. Henry Mejia, who is the Mets closer du jour, is up in the bullpen. He gets soup with that. Centeno tops one foul. Centeno, making his season debut, is grounded out and walked. Abreu on deck to bat for the pitcher. Nice job by Familia and Edgin to get Jeter and Ellsbury respectively to keep this a 1-run game. Well, the Mets have to be thrilled that Dylan Betances is out of the game.
Yeah,
after he struck out 6 in a row.
Well, we'll see here.
Well, you can't do any worse, can you? 2-2 now to Centeno. But Warren's been awfully good. 22 innings, 16 hits, only 5 walks and 20 strikeouts, and a 1.59 ERA. When you have a whip under 1, as Warren does, you're doing awfully well.
It's a game I'm not familiar with.
2-2 to Centeno. Strike 3 call. That is 7 consecutive Mets who've been struck out.
3 taking in a row.
3 taking in a row, a total of 5.
5 out of the last 7 taking.
They're throwing strikes. Swing the bat. So now Abreu, who had a pinch hit single in last night's game, leading off the 9th inning. Got his batting average over 200. Abreu, a former Yankee. Mets have had 2 hits tonight. They both came in the 3rd inning by Tejada and the starting pitcher DeGrom, and that's been it. Dylan Betances is pitcher of record for the Yankees. Chase Whitley, their starter, went 4 2/3 in his big league debut. No runs, 2 hits. Betances faced 7, retired them all, striking out 6. Joe Girardi hoping that Warren and presumably David Robertson could do the rest. Abreu's not going to chase anything. Ahead of the count, 2-0.
Still one time, and I don't know, I haven't seen enough of Bobby Abreu, Eric Young Jr. on deck. Still one time he could look middle of plate in and try to hit one out here. Right?
Yep.
And hit it right down that right field line.
And they're going to keep it away.
Good pitch, knees away, nothing you can do.
Not a pitch. If you're looking to pull out in the ballpark, in this ballpark, in this right field, forget it. Spit on it.
Hitter with one of the best eyes in baseball in the last quarter century.
And looking at Abreu's feet.
Keep it away. Change up. Yeah, I don't
telegraph that one.
I don't like the call.
Not only that, he had just thrown a perfect fastball away. Double up with it. He's got the feel for it.
If Abreu can get on, you got Lagares to run for him.
Again, Abreu's doing exactly what he should be doing when he was at 2-0. Does he get something middle of the plate in? Fastball away will be the call.
3-1 from Adam Warren. And Abreu takes ball 4. And the Mets get a 1-out base runner. And now Lagares will come in to run for Abreu. Tag.
Did you see Abreu? He said, "What are you doing here?" And then he started laughing.
Well, no active players drawn more walks than Bobby Abreu, and he gets another one here to get the tying run aboard with 1 out. With Eric Young coming to the plate.
Watch this. He's like, "What are you doing here?" All right, okay, I'll go in.
Abreu likes to have fun.
I like his attitude. He's good for the bench.
He's got a second, well, maybe third life in baseball, and very happy to have every day he can. Well, this is the 4th time around the Mets batting order. The top 6 in the order have gone 0 for 18. It's taken low by Young, ball 1.
A little tightness here.
A little tightness. Look at the outfield, Keith. Soriano's pretty tight in right field for Young. I know Young does not have a lot of power, but he did hit a home run in Yankee Stadium, and it's not like Soriano, who's practicing his hitting stance.
Practicing his stance out there in a defensive situation.
He's ready to go back on the ball.
I'd have him move back further.
I thought they might have taken him out of the game after they used Almonte as a pinch hitter. Brought him in for defense. But Soriano's caught everything that's come his way in this series. Lagares not a big base stealer, but he's got speed. He's the tying run with 1 out. In the 8th inning, David Robertson is up and getting ready for the Yankees. 1-0. Here's a good on-speed pitch.
That was the changeup he was looking to throw. Abreu 2-1. You know, the difference here between Warren and Betances is a guy that just comes and blows you away. Warren is a guy that's kind of his role was going to be as a starter, so he's got those 3 pitches. He's got to use them all.
There's Robertson. Joe Girardi was going to use him for a 4-out save earlier in this series, but never got the opportunity. 1-1 to Eric Young. And trying to drag a bunt, but missed it. 1-2.
Trying a little deke here.
Hard to bring a bunt to first base if that's what he was trying to do with Teixeira holding the runner on.
I think his timing was knocked off because Warren held that ball an extra beat to freeze the runner, and it messed Young up at the plate. Now the 1-2. Strike 3 call. Backdoor slider got him.
Well, a big strike zone from Hunter Wendelstedt. By big, I mean the borderline corners he's given to the pitcher. So that's a wrong word. He's been a pitcher's umpire, and he's been consistent.
Keith, he's been that way all night long, and we're 2.5 hours in. I mean, at some point, you've got to make an adjustment.
That's right. So he's been doing it. He's been consistent. It's got guys. Anything that's close to the corners, can't let it go. He's a pitcher's ump.
The last 8 outs against the Mets have all been via the strikeout. Now Murphy, who has struck out twice and grounded out. Mets have struck out 12 times tonight, 8 in the last 2 2/3. Or 1 to Murphy. Lagares the tying run at first with 2 out. Murphy scolds one over the bag, a base hit. Lagares will go first to third. And the Mets have the tying run at third base with David Wright coming up.
Well, if you're guarding the line, guess what? This inning's over. And you got a guy like Murph, who's not a dead pull hitter. I don't like it.
Girardi's going to make a double switch. He's going to bring his closer, David Robertson, in for a 4-out save. This is the situation he tried to get to the other night at Yankee Stadium on Monday. So Warren gets 2 outs, but the Mets get the tying run to third. Robertson coming in. 1-0 Yankees. We'll be right back. Subway Series moments for the Mets. David Wright will get another chance here, but an interesting moment here for the Yankees. Derek Jeter has been double switched out of this game in his final game in Flushing. Brendan Ryan comes in to play shortstop. He'll bat 8th, and the new pitcher David Robertson will bat 2nd as Jeter comes out.
Well, so it's almost hard to say, isn't it? The new closer for the New York Yankees, perfect so far in saves and save opportunities in 9 games.
Actually, this double switch is like a double changing of the guard, right? Yeah. Robertson, who's the new Rivera, and Jeter, whose Yankee career is working toward a close. Well, David Wright faced Chase Whitley twice and struck out twice. Faced Dylan Betances once and struck out. Now we'll face David Robertson. Mets have a runner at third base in Lagares. Murphy on at first. Down 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
And if you're used to Rivera and his cutter all those years, he taught it to Robertson. He's got a good one also, but he also has a big overhand hook to go with it.
David Wright, who struck out 3 times here, he can have a big payback.
Chases a pitch out of the strike zone. David's been chasing all night.
You got to wonder, you've been in these situations before where you haven't had a good day. You've had a horrific day, and then you get up with the game on the line late. Gosh, can you get that one hit, that one big hit?
The 2-out hit's been hard to come by for David this year. 0 for 2 in his career against Robertson. Slow ground ball. Ryan just in the game. Throws out right, and the Mets are turned aside in the bottom of the 8th. On to the 9th we go. Yankees 1, Mets 0. to left field. Juan Lagares, who pinch ran, stays in the game in center. And Henry Mejia, anointed as closer for the day, will come in with the Mets down 1-0 in the ninth.
That's the interesting part, isn't it? Closer for the day, and he comes in down a run here in the ninth inning.
Mets used 3 relievers in that 8th inning. Scott Rice put the Mets in trouble with a couple of walks, but Jeurys Familia got Derek Jeter to hit a ground ball. Gotten out at the plate in Jeter's final at bat in Flushing. Jacoby Ellsbury then flied out against Josh Edgin to get the Mets through the 8th. So David Robertson came in, got Adam Warren out of trouble in the bottom of the 8th, and so still a 1-0 game as we head to the 9th. Mark Teixeira 0 for 2 and a walk. McCann and Soriano to follow against Mejia, who makes just his second relief appearance of the year. His first one came on Monday night, and he was the winning pitcher in the Mets series opening victory at Yankee Stadium. The Mets have made a lot of changes in the last week, and this might be one of the more important ones, the move of Mejia to the bullpen.
Well, I'm with Dan Warthen. I think that his true talent lay in the bullpen. He's a guy that is a max effort kind of guy. I don't know if he can give you those 6, 7, 8 innings you need as a starter, but boy, he has swing and miss stuff, which the Mets don't have a lot of in their bullpen.
Two and one to Teixeira. McCann waits next. Well, Mejia had a reluctance to go to the bullpen, but it appears that he's very quickly embraced the idea.
Well, you can make a lot of money and have a lot of fun too.
Well, I was just going to talk about the fun part. He certainly showed that with his reaction after his outing on Monday. And, you know, some folks might not have appreciated the little moonwalk, but I think that was his way of saying, hey, if I'm going to be a reliever, I'm going to go out there with a little swag.
I'm not going to strip him of his style. The only thing is when you have that kind of swagger and style, you got to back it up. You know, so if he backs it up, beautiful. Do whatever you want to do.
2-2. And Teixeira just got a piece.
Boy, Teixeira is really pulling off. Just dead pulling off everything.
Centeno in the foot. Two. Bounce foul.
Nick Kelleher, your man, making some plays.
Nick was a slick fielding shortstop for the Cardinals back in the early 70s. Nick, we called him Killer. It was like Nick's around 5'6". Was a banjo hitter. No offense, Nick. We're all buddies. He could pick it, but he just couldn't hit. One of the great guys.
Teixeira hooks one foul.
And that's the way Teixeira is swinging. That's all he can do.
Yeah. It's almost if you need a strike, you just come in on the plate or off, and all he can do is pull it foul.
And the big pull on the shift, and I would shift on him too.
8th pitch of the at bat from Mejia to Teixeira, and couldn't get him to bite. 3-2.
Well, the one thing Teixeira has, he has a good eye at the plate. He's a very disciplined hitter. He knows what he's doing. Big, strong guy.
Into right center. That's down for a base hit. Lagares over to cut it off quickly. And Teixeira holds at first with a leadoff single.
Well, this is the one ball they can keep in play the way he's been swinging this series. That's the ball away, Ronnie. It's just not a pretty swing.
You know, since Kelly Johnson's in the game already, really no one to run for Teixeira.
No. You only got Suzuki and Beltran remaining.
And Ichiro has had the bad back, probably can't play, so that leaves Beltran's on the DL now, so.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
they have the backup catcher, John Ryan Murphy. But McCann trying to bunt for a hit.
And that would have been trouble.
It certainly would have. Could have been a double.
Yeah.
Nobody playing down there. Well, our Toyota tweet of the game comes from our buddy Frank Viola, who we are happy to report is really recovering nicely after heart surgery, and congratulating Jacob deGrom on a great effort tonight.
No.
Question is, will he be a losing pitcher in his big league debut? And again, McCann shows bunt.
I like it.
Well, it's the right time for it, right?
It's the right time for it.
Well, David Wright's asking whether he should move over, and they're saying no. Let's see what's going on with David here. He was pointing into the dugout, and they told him not to move, so he's staying put.
He's shortened up a little bit, though.
Yeah, he's got to come over. In this kind of situation, one-run game.
Now McCann gets to swinging and fouls off the curveball, 1-2. Soriano on deck. He's driven in the only run of this game after the Mets opened the door by failing to turn an inning-ending double play in the 7th. Soriano cashed that run in, and that's been it. 1-2 for Mejia. McCann lunging.
So we've come to a point where we're going to play these shifts, and in the game that one team is winning 1-0, we're saying we're going to give you a base hit. We're going to give you a base hit and allow you guys to move the guy to second, and still no one will take advantage.
The thing is, McCann
can't.
Yep. I was going to say he can, but he can go that way, McCann. Gary said no, he can't.
Like, can't at that.
Good change up there by Henry. I guess you know the point I'm trying to make.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we talked about this before when David Wright was put in the position of trying to turn a double play and couldn't. You know, the shift has a lot of positives to it. They'll take away a lot of hits from pull hitters over the course of a season.
It's like
there's a piece of paper in shallow center field that Soriano once picked up.
Oh, he's very picky. Go get it, Murph.
It's plastic. I mean, come on.
That's a little
really?
picky. It can move, though. Could blow in the wind.
Thank you.
There you go.
Simi.
I don't know. You watch this all the time in the winter. Guys going in for a layup, coming across the center court, and he throws it back out to the guy at the three-point line, and he had a walk-in layup. But the three-point is more important. I mean, you know, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just different.
And I think that's the point. I think the shift gives and the shift takes away. You put players in odd positions that they're not used to, and that might have cost the Mets this game. And then you're saying we don't want you to get an extra base hit, but we'll give you a single. And sometimes a single's enough to beat you. Soriano takes a strike 0-2. So where's the balance? It's hard to tell sometimes. Here is Solarte, has been held in check tonight, 0 for 3. He's on deck. Mejia ahead 0-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, the Mets will have Granderson, Chris Young, and Duda coming up against David Robertson. Now, Robertson got the out in the 8th, sitting in the dugout. That closer thing where they have the adrenaline and then they have to sit. Hit hard. David Wright almost picked it brilliantly, but unable to hang on. It's an infield hit for Soriano. Well, he saved a double by getting his glove on it, but couldn't make it stick.
Boy, this ball's ripped.
Had a lot of topspin on it too. Did it hit his back leg?
How about his back hand?
Yeah, I think he missed it completely.
Got his hand.
Yeah, off the end of the glove.
No chance to get in front of this ball. Hit way too hard.
Deflected off his glove, off his bare hand. He appears to be okay. So 2 hits in the inning, 6 for the game for the Yankees, and a chance to get some insurance with Solarte. 0 for 3, but hit a line drive at Murphy his last time. Slaps one to short. Tejada gets the out at second. Murphy the turn in time. Double play. Side retired.
They're going to check down there. Here comes
Girardi's going to come out to keep open the possibility of a challenge. He's got to come out within 10 seconds on an inning-ending play.
Boy,
very close play at first. Mike Estabrook with the call.
He took that big leap at the end. I think that cost him.
I think he's out.
I'm with you. Watch this big leap he takes at the end. And Lucas got it in his glove. He's not down yet.
Well, there certainly appears to be no evidence to overturn that from the views we've had. But Girardi will wait for his
I could just sit here and wait
coach.
until my coach is going to look at the videotape. By the way,
he's going to not challenge the call.
Soriano didn't slide and tried to break up two. Did you notice that?
So the Mets turn the inning-ending double play. No challenge by Girardi. 6-4-3, and now the Mets will come up in the bottom of the ninth, trying to yank it out, trailing 1-0. Love before the foot hits the bag. It's about as close as it could possibly be.
So you and I were saying if they called it safe, I don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn it that way. So it was just the call was the key.
So the Mets trying to avoid being shut out in 2 straight games for the second time in just over a week. Curtis Granderson will lead off in the last of the ninth against David Robertson, who got the final out in the 8th. Granderson takes one low and in for ball 1. Curtis has grounded out, struck out twice. That's a struck out a dozen times tonight. They've managed just 3 hits.
You asked before, Gary, about Robertson sitting down and getting back up. Remember, just once in a while would have a save opportunity. A lot of times he pitched the 7th and 8th inning in front of Mariano.
I guess he hasn't been a closer long, but is the closer adrenaline a little bit different?
I think he's had enough opportunities, with the aging Mariano, to have a chance here and there to have that feeling. Now he's just got to sustain it over the course of 6 months.
Granderson hits one into the shift. Brendan Ryan makes the play. Excuse me, Kelly Johnson playing on the right side. It is Ryan. A different kind of shift.
Exactly.
Hard to keep track. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Well, there's been a lot of impressive pitching in this game, probably none more so than Dylan Betances. What a knock your eyes out performance.
To say the least. You can look at the scorecard tomorrow, and the box score, I should say, and it's self-evident.
Jacob deGrom was great in his own right in his major league debut, but 2 outs away from being a losing pitcher. Chris Young, the batter, takes a strike from Robertson. Young 0 for 3 tonight, 5 for his last 35.
Mets are still complaining about the strike zone here 3 hours into the game. Hunter Wendelstedt, maybe they need a book on the umpires. Hunter Wendelstedt has been like this forever. He is an umpire that has a big strike zone. Always has.
Interesting how Hunter stands like the old American League umpires that used to have the chest protector in front of them, and the old burgundy coats, if you recall, with the gray slacks.
Is that what you're featuring tonight?
No.
Okay.
Stands upright above the catcher.
1-1 to Chris Young.
Ooh, throw it by him. Jeez.
Has that nice cut on his fastball. You can see how it comes out Carlos Torres style. I think the biggest thing for Robertson is when he hits that first snag, and replacing a legend is always difficult. I don't care who you are.
Ahead on Young, 1-2. 2-2.
The Yankees started this game with a young kid from Alabama, and they're trying to end it with one.
Lucas Duda on deck. Ruben Tejada would be behind him if anybody gets on. Eric Jeter double switched out of his last game in Flushing. 2-2 from Robertson, and Young pops one foul. Mets have 3 right-hand hitters left on their bench: Eric Campbell, Wilmer Flores, Anthony Recker.
Remember, Young hit a hanging curveball from Preston Claiborne over at Yankee Stadium. Curveball down. Robertson features a curveball.
His first ever at bat against Robertson. 2-2. And tight. Full count. Three-two from Robertson to Young. Got him with a high fastball. 2 out. 13 strikeouts for Yankee pitchers tonight.
Out of the strike zone, upstairs, up and in, ties them up.
See that grip, 4 seams, a little off center on the outside of that baseball, and lets that cutter go.
And so the Mets are down to their final line of the night with Lucas Duda coming up. Mets were shut out in back-to-back games in Miami to end their last road trip, and in danger of being shut out in back-to-back games at home just a shade over a week later. Duda 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a breaking ball for ball 1. Rough night for David Wright at the plate, and one big play not made in the field that cost the Mets the only run of the game.
Ronnie, would you be careful right now with Duda? Really, with Tejada and Centeno behind him, not power hitter?
Absolutely. He's the one guy that can hurt you.
And I think that's what we're seeing.
A couple of curveballs. Now you're in such the kind of ballpark where you can throw that fastball down and away. You won't be able to hit that ball out.
Eric Campbell with his helmet on. Would he bat for Tejada, or is he getting ready to hit for Centeno if it gets that far?
Tejada.
Right now Tejada's out on deck. 2-0 to Duda. Off speed pitch fouled off.
I think he's going to hit for Centeno. I think because of Tejada's last few games and his at-bats that he's going to warrant getting up there and hitting in this situation if Duda can somehow keep the line moving.
Lucas hasn't seen a fastball yet. Jacob deGrom, interested spectators, seeing if the Mets, with their backs to the wall, can get him off the hook. 2-1 coming from Robertson.
All curveballs.
Now it's 3-1.
I don't think they want anything to do with them, to be honest with you. The problem with throwing the curveballs here, Ronnie, is you can make a mistake.
Yeah, you hang that one, and that is out of the ballpark. At least with the fastball away and down, you control where the ball can be hit. That's the call.
Can't call for the fastball. 3-1 from Robertson. There's a strike. Full count. So the Mets are down to their final strike. And Duda down on the breaking ball, and the ball game is over. Robertson gets a 4-out save. The Yankees shut out the Mets for the second straight night. And after the Mets rollicked for 2 days in the Bronx, scoring 21 runs, they failed to score a single run in 2 games against the Yankees here. Jacob deGrom, terrific in his major league debut, comes up on the short end in Derek Jeter's final game in Flushing.
And Derek Jeter's final game, he gets double switched out of the ball game. Great pitching by all of the Yankee pitchers. Dylan Betances, the best of the lot, and a shame that Jacob deGrom got a loss from this game.
Well, 14 strikeouts, too many strikeouts. Good pitching. deGrom, as Ron said, the one lone run driven in by Alfonso Soriano, a double in the gap. That was in the 7th that scored McCann.
Game summary brought to you by New York Community Bank. Mets couldn't turn a double play. That set up Soriano's 2-out RBI double, and that was it. 14 strikeouts for the Yankee pitching staff, led by Betances, who could not have been better, retiring all 7 to face him, striking out 6. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your local Acura dealer, by the NYU SCPS Masters in Sports Business, by Samuel Adams for the love of beer, by Geico, and by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on the most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Final score, the Yankees 1 and the Mets 0. Tomorrow night, the Mets begin a 3-game series at Nationals Park against Washington. John Neese goes for the Mets. Tanner Roark for the Nats. Our coverage begins tomorrow night on SNY at 6 o'clock. Now for Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, Kevin Burkhardt, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason Post Game Live. Gary Apple, Bobby Valentine, Bobby Ojeda. Guys?